Right now, here on the WHAS11 night team, dramatic video showing huge tornadoes, and a lot of them. Tornadoes touching down in and around Nebraska throughout the afternoon. Officials are reporting several people have been injured, but there were no immediate reports that anyone has been killed as of this news hour time right here at 11:25. It is our top story on the WHAS11 night team. Hello, everybody, and thanks for joining us. I'm Doug Proffitt. We're giving you an update now on those giant twisters. They moved from largely rural areas to suburbs northwest of Omaha. That's the state's most populous city. Hundreds of houses sustained damage in Omaha. Police and firefighters were traveling door to door in an attempt to help people who've been trapped. In one area of the suburb, dozens of newly built large homes were severely damaged or even destroyed. Residents saying they were shocked by the damage.
The whole neighborhood just to the north of us is pretty flattened, and some of the cul-de-sacs, people in our immediate neighborhood seem to be safe, but there's been a lot of loss and a lot of fire and rescue trying to retrieve what they can.
And our first alert storm team meteorologist Colleen Peterson will have more on this massive tornado outbreak in just a few minutes on the night team. But right here at home, Derby 150 is expected to draw bigger than usual numbers of visitors to Louisville because of the renewed interest in the race this time around. But a new survey that's just out says downtown Louisville has actually done well without the Derby frenzy. In fact, one of the best recoveries in the country. WHAS11 night team's Connor Steffen and photojournalist Aspen Hester got reaction from downtown businesses.
1 week before Derby, the downtown corridor is brimming with activity.
It's very walkable. There's plenty of hotels. There's plenty of dining.
Over at Merle's Whiskey Kitchen on Whiskey Row, capacity is at standing room only.
We're just now getting back to what we call the normal, what it was in 2019 and prior.
Something they've come to expect as of late.
We were seeing it. All of 22, all of 23, we were seeing the foot traffic, people coming in, people being around.
While the Central Business District has been hampered by fleeing businesses, what is lost in storefronts it's made up for in foot traffic.
We're seeing a lot of out-of-towners, a lot of people from around the world.
That's backed up by a new University of Toronto study, which looked to rank the recovery happening in downtowns across America since the COVID years.
We know that we're better post-COVID, so I believe the numbers. We can't replicate it simply because we don't use the same platform that they use.
The University of Toronto ranked Louisville third in downtown recovery out of 54 cities, finding between March 2023 and February 2024, the area saw a 33% increase in visitor activity.
I think what they're saying is true. I just, to compare and come in third is, I'm going to say thanks to bourbon.
With bourbon taking off the way it took off, the micro distilleries taking off the way they've taken off, that's really helped, grow the business.
Though it's not just Louisville's bourbonism. Over the last 12 months, the district's seen a steady level of investment from companies moving in, like Derby City Gaming. But Churchill Downs CEO Bill Carstanjen, speaking to investors on a company call earlier this week, said it's a work in progress for them.
I'd say it started relatively modest. It's not a material contributor to the Kentucky engine that we've established, but it's moving in the right direction, and it's about where we thought it would be. And let's get some of these spring and summer months under our belts.
Next week will also be the first Derby week for Derby City Downtown. Rebecca Fleischaker with Louisville Downtown Partnership agrees the area has some ways to go.
We had office workers walking around downtown every day. We don't have that number back at all. We're probably at 2/3 of what we were.
On the road to a slow yet steady recovery. In downtown Louisville, Connor Steffen, the WHAS11 night team, on your side.
And also released today, safety. It's a strong focus at Churchill Downs, especially after the 12 horse deaths at the track you remember last spring meet. Today, Churchill Downs released its new safety rules for horses at the track. The racetrack itself is a big priority. New and upgraded tractors and graders are in place, plus a new turf expert has been hired at Churchill Downs. Some of the new rules taking effect include having all participating Oaks and Derby horses must be at the grounds no later than 11 a.m. tomorrow. Veterinarians cannot have contact with the entered horses within 24 hours of post time. Horses cannot have any medications within 48 hours of the race. If there is a medical emergency, stewards will authorize treatment and the horse will then be scratched. Well, Churchill Downs is also hoping newly renovated spaces will draw more guests to the Derby than ever before. The $200 million paddock restoration. In the last 3 years, Churchill has updated or renovated the Homestretch Club, the first turn, and now the paddock area for the improved guest experiences. In that investor call this week, the CEO, Bill Carstanjen, said the track's already looking at what they can bring to Churchill Downs for next Derby.
We are also evaluating an intriguing smaller project for the 2025 Derby that will enhance the guest experience in another portion of our venue. We anticipate that this will be a capital investment in the range of $60 to $80 million and have a payback of 6 to 8 years.
Carstanzen said they're going to announce that new investment in July. He is hoping to learn from guest experiences at the newly renovated paddock area. He says this way they can continue to bring something new to Churchill every single year. Well, it is the kickoff to Derby Week. Tonight, the Kentucky Derby Museum celebrated 37 years of its annual museum ball. It's known as the party of the season, and this year there was a record number for the attendance. WHAS 11 Team's Taylor Woods and photojournalist Elijah McKenzie talked to the guests and the museum staff.
From the blue carpet to the photo booth, guests arrive wearing their best formal attire. It's the 37th year for the Kentucky Derby Museum Ball.
It's just amazing. This room is absolutely stunning. It's the best ever, and we're going to have an amazing night.
For the first time, this iconic fundraising event is at the First Turn Club at Churchill Downs. Alana Kogan, known as the Hat Doctor on social media, is one of the official milliners at the Kentucky Derby Museum.
This is my 3rd year with them. Their hat show has gotten bigger and better every single year, and so has their Derby Museum Gala.
More than 700 guests, from locals to those coming in from out of town, celebrated the kickoff toast to 150 years of the Kentucky Derby. It's a time to reunite for Derby fans like Deputy Mayor David James.
I'm just really excited to be here. I'm happy to see all of our friends and people we haven't seen since this time last year.
This ball is the museum's largest fundraiser of the year.
Guests have the chance to raffle on this 3-piece jewelry set, and there will only be one winner. All proceeds will go towards programs and exhibits within the Kentucky Derby Museum.
The ball was a part of the early days of the museum to support the museum as a fundraiser. So it's been going on all these years, and this is one of our largest.
Rhonda Jo Connor has been the chair of the museum ball for the last few years. She remembers when the event was hosted in the infield.
Because of the transition of going from the infield to the museum, they thought the event had kind of died, and I just had this passion. I said, no, it's such a special event.
Jo Connor and her team worked tirelessly to make this year exclusive.
We wanted to make it really special, and I really think we have, with the decor, and we got a great band, and we're ready to celebrate 150.
As she and others look forward to the greatest 2 minutes in sports. In Louisville, Taylor Woods, WHAS 11 Night Team on your side.
And the proceeds from tonight's museum ball will go towards educational programs. Well, this Saturday, tomorrow night at 7, we are so excited to bring you a WHAS 11 special Derby presentation. We're calling it the greatest 2 minutes. You're going to meet people who've never missed a Derby for decades. And Louisville's most famous historian, Tom Owen, takes us on a tour, finding out what inspired the spires. Why was a 24-year-old draftsman moved to add them at the last minute? The greatest 2 minutes. It is Saturday night at 7 right here on WHAS 11. We hope you can join us. Less than an hour ago, Indiana State Police seized 6 vehicles from former Clark County Sheriff Jamie Knowles' barn in Utica Township. Indiana State Police said in a new search warrant today, Knowles used over $100,000 in funds from his former fire departments to purchase the cars. We were there in the scene earlier tonight, and here you can see it all happening as 2 classic cars were being taken from his barn on Old Salem Road. Police say Knowles bought a 1966 Pontiac GTO, a 1952 Dodge truck, a 1979 Trans Am, and more using fire department money. Police said they saw these vehicles in August but didn't have the evidence to seize them. The search warrant also said Knowles moved money through his dead brother's estate before purchasing one of the vehicles. Also new here tonight, a semi crashed into a church in Old Louisville. This happened earlier this afternoon. Police said a car traveling east on East Breckenridge Street ignored the traffic signal there and crashed into a semi that was traveling down Floyd Street. The semi was forced into Christ Way Missionary Baptist Church by the collision. You see this damage here after the semi was removed. Police say the driver of the semi was not hurt in the crash. The driver of the car was taken to the hospital where they are expected to survive. Experts say intimate partner violence makes up about 10% of Louisville's homicides. And for years, the Center for Women and Families and Louisville Metro Police have worked to tackle the issue. But now the organization says that partnership is slipping. This comes in light of the recent U.S. Department of Justice report into LMPD, which showed the department's response to domestic violence situations was deficient. The Center for Women and Families CEO says they want to help, but haven't been invited to work with the department since the pandemic.
We were no longer a part of any training. We were no longer asked to come in and do training. Officers were no longer brought here to take a tour, to meet us, to begin to keep that partnership tight.
We will continue to work hard to reach out and to put people together with the much needed services.
In the meantime, for more information about services that you may need, you can call the domestic violence hotline on your screen around the clock. It is 1-800-799-7233, or you can chat online at thehotline.org. And for local resources, don't forget, you can call the Center for Women and Families at any moment. Heads up for Kia drivers, social media trends show just how easy it is to steal your vehicle. Now the automaker is offering anti-theft upgrades. One option, a pop-up shop, is going to be held at Oxmoor Center in eastern Jefferson County this weekend. Kia technicians will install software there at Oxmoor into certain modeled vehicles at the most risk of being stolen. It only takes about 15 minutes. The event's going to continue behind the Top Golf from 8 to 6 on Saturday. That's 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Saturday and from 8 to 3 on Sunday. If you cannot make it out, then you're also encouraged to contact dealerships in Louisville, Clarksville, or Elizabethtown.